Hera versus Hercules, one of the most ridiculous mythic takedowns of all time. Because what Hera does to Hercules is one of the most prolonged, psychologically vicious campaigns in all mythology, and it deserves to be broken down and understood. Because we never talk about how actually insidious Hera is. So Hera's beef was with a child, essentially, whose crime was to have been the successful cell that came from Zeus's body to make it all the way to the egg. Because we know what Zeus was doing. He was out there like living the life, just sleeping with women all over the place, goddesses, women, and he was making babies like it was nobody's business. But Hera, in her infinite wisdom and madness, couldn't punish Zeus for any of this stuff. So she chose to punish an infant, right? And this right there, right off the bat, tells us a lot about Hera. A lot. Like sending serpents to kill a baby in his crib, this isn't divine jealousy. This is an attempted infanticide. And the myths spin it away from all this really quickly by saying, ooh, look how strong this baby is to survive that. But that's propaganda. The real story is that Hera tried to murder a baby in his sleep. This is supposed to be a goddess. This is supposed to be someone who is above it all and subject to governing an entire kingdom of gods and the earthly realm as well. And she's a complete menace, right? We go about these stories never thinking about what she actually does. Most gods in Greek mythology do a drive-by curse and then they move on. But Hera, relentless, doesn't stop, sabotages his reputation, sends monsters directly after him, engineers situations where he's isolated, undermine his relationship with his family, and finally goes for the brain, goes for the noodle. This is not rage, this is long-term psychological warfare. And the real crime is that she literally weaponizes his own madness. Now, the part people rush off is because it's uncomfortable to say that she drives Hercules into madness. Not confusion, not he had a bad temper that day, but a full-on divine psychosis she induces him with the power of a goddess behind it. And what happens in that state is legendary. He kills his wife, he kills his children, and that number may be 2 to 3 children depending on the myth. And he wakes up in the aftermath. And this is not a punishment in any real sense. This is a soul destruction. She doesn't kill him, she makes him kill what he loves most. And that's colder than Zeus ever did to anybody. And this is what triggers the whole thing about the 12 labors. He ends up having to do these 12 labors as atonement for something that he didn't even have a responsibility for. He's broken, he's guilt-ridden, he's spiritually shattered as a father and a husband, and sent to serve a lesser king like a slave to purify himself. So every labor isn't glory, it's kind of reduction and penance. And every monster he kills is trying to survive the memory of what Hera made him do. And why she rarely actually takes this heat. Because Greek myth often treats male rage as tragic. Female rape is justified no matter who it hits. It doesn't really matter. Hera's pain is real. Her methods are monsters. And this is all like boiling together in this truth bubble. But mythology and later retellings keep softening her because she represents marriage, she represents order, she represents legitimacy. So calling her a freaking lunatic really breaks out the whole illusion of it all. But the story, like the real core about the story, is about a child that was punished for his father's crime. And think about it, his father doesn't do anything to protect him. This is about power structures that can't strike upward, so they strike down, which is what we see in what a so-called goddess. That trauma is being reframed as his destiny. And heroism is not born from greatness, but surviving incredible abuse. Hercules isn't great because he's strong. He's great because he didn't become what Hera is. He didn't give her that. He's tried to remain righteous no matter what insanity was going on. And here's the thing. Even when we talk about Hera and I tell this story about how she had him kill his wife and his 2 to 3 kids, she doesn't even get the reproduction, the consequences of bearing that body count. That's literally 3 to 4 absolutely innocent individuals, including children, that have to die because this goddess's emotions are completely out of hand. And this is not the first set of kids that she would torment, and her body count is actually a lot higher than we think. And I'm going to talk about that in a whole separate video. But I really want to get into the psychology of what Hera actually did to him. She took all this time and continued to attack him. It wasn't one attack, it was like a dozen different attacks over his entire life that finally culminated in the most insidious thing that she could possibly think about. And we still see her as a queen of heaven and a goddess who can believe in to have some type of moral judgment. So I don't know who out there is still believing in Hera, but you definitely need to stop, because what we're dealing with is an absolute savage of mythical proportions.